I still remember the sound, the clanking of the chains, the low growl of the tow truck engine, and that bright yellow Hummer lifting slowly into the air while its owner screamed like someone was stealing her child. I just stood there, bags of groceries by my feet, watching Justice rise 6 feet off the ground. After nearly 2 hours of being trapped in that parking lot, all I felt was a strange mix of relief and disbelief. I didn't plan to be the hero of the day. I just wanted to get home and make fajitas for dinner. But that night, I learned something about entitlement patience and karma with a tow hitch. It started like any other Wednesday. I'd just finished work, a long day, crunching numbers in a cubicle that smelled faintly of burnt coffee, and my wife Emily had texted me a short grocery list: chicken bell peppers, tortillas, and maybe paper towels if they were on sale. I pulled into Riverside Plaza, that mid-sized shopping center with too many potholes and a grocery store that always smelled like fresh bread. It wasn't crowded, which was unusual. I parked neatly in spot 47 right in front of the store, checked my lines, locked my silver Honda Civic, and walked inside with my reusable bags like a responsible adult. I didn't know I was about to be held hostage by someone's ego. 40 minutes later, I came back out pushing a cart full of groceries, already thinking about dinner and Netflix. The sky was turning golden. Everything felt calm until I saw it. A massive yellow Hummer H2 parked sideways across the fire lane, completely blocking my car. My brain froze for a second. Then I looked again, hoping maybe it wasn't what it looked like. But no, it was exactly that. The entire lane painted bright yellow, no parking. Fire lane screaming from the ground in bold white letters, a signpost 2 feet away repeating the same thing. And this monster of a vehicle had decided those rules were suggestions. Its vanity plate, Queen. I wish I was joking. I walked around the cars trying to calculate if there was any possible angle to escape. There wasn't. Unless I wanted to scrape the entire side of my Honda along that oversized tank, I wasn't going anywhere. I just stood there for a minute, letting the ridiculousness of the situation sink in. Maybe the driver just ran inside for a quick errand. I decided to wait. 5 minutes turned into 10. No one came. I went back into the store and asked the teenage clerk at customer service to make an announcement. "Could the owner of a yellow Hummer license plate Queen please come to your vehicle? You're blocking another car." His bored voice echoed over the intercom, and I waited by the doors expecting anyone to walk out looking guilty. 10 minutes passed. Still nothing. When I walked back outside, my car was still blocked and my patience was starting to thin. That's when I met Frank. He was this old man with a cane and a grocery bag full of oranges walking slowly past. He stopped, squinted at the Hummer, and said, "That thing's been here at least 45 minutes. Parked like she owns the place." I let out a frustrated laugh and asked if he'd seen who it was. He shook his head, then said, "I'll wait with you, son. I can't stand people like that." There was something about his calm presence that made me feel a little less alone. We stood there, two strangers united by shared irritation. After another 10 minutes, I gave up waiting and called the police's non-emergency line. The dispatcher was polite but unhelpful. "Sir, since it's private property, we can't ticket or tow the vehicle. You'll need to contact property management." Great. So I started searching for Riverside Plaza's management number online and found one for a woman named Janet Wu. When she answered, her tone told me this wasn't the first time she'd dealt with this. "I'll be there in 10 minutes, she said. "And yes, we can have it towed. That's a fire lane violation." While I waited, I decided to document everything. Photos from all angles, timestamps, clear shots of the no parking signs, even a short video where I narrated the situation like some frustrated YouTuber. It's 5:47 p.m. I said to my phone camera, and I'm blocked in by a Hummer parked illegally in the fire lane for over an hour. Frank chuckled from a nearby bench and said, "You should post that online. People need to see this kind of nonsense." I smiled. "Maybe I will." Janet arrived right on time. Professional, no-nonsense blazer, sharp enough to cut glass. She took one look and said flatly, "Yeah, that's getting towed." She called someone named Big Mark, then turned to me. "He's our contracted tow operator. He'll be here soon. The owner will pay all fees." For the first time in an hour, I felt hope. But deep down, I had that nagging feeling, the kind where you almost feel bad, even though you're right. I started doubting myself. Was I overreacting? It's just parking, right? Maybe she really did have an emergency. Maybe I should have just waited longer. But then I remembered this wasn't some small mistake. This was pure entitlement. The kind of attitude that says, "My time matters, yours doesn't," and I'd had enough of it. Janet walked back inside to make one last announcement over the intercom. Final notice. The owner of a yellow Hummer license plate. Queen parked in the fire lane. Your vehicle will be towed in 5 minutes. She came back out and crossed her arms. We waited. 5 minutes ticked by. No one showed. Then we heard it, a deep rumble, low and powerful. A red and white tow truck rolled into the lot, lights flashing amber. Big Mark had arrived. He stepped out like a movie character, 6'4", broad shoulders, navy coveralls, reflective vest. The kind of guy who looked like he'd seen every excuse in the book and wasn't buying any of them. He looked at the Hummer, laughed, and said, "Oh man, another I park where I want situation. Let's take care of it." Then he got to work, methodical and calm, setting up the lift, securing the chains. Watching him was oddly satisfying. Finally, something was being done. And that's when it happened. The store doors flew open, and out stormed a woman who could only be described as chaos in heels. Neon pink crop top, bedazzled jeans, platform wedges, oversized sunglasses, the works. She had a Starbucks cup in one hand and a shopping bag from the nail salon in the other. Her mouth dropped open when she saw the tow truck. "What are you doing to my car?" she screeched. Big Mark didn't even flinch. "Ma'am, your vehicle is being towed for illegally parking in a fire lane and blocking another car." She stomped closer, dropping her bags. "You can't tow my car." I was only inside for a few minutes. I spoke up, calm but firm. "Ma'am, you've been parked there for over an hour and a half. I've been standing here waiting." She turned on me like a switch flipped. "Well, maybe you should have parked somewhere else." My jaw clenched. "I parked legally. You didn't." Her face turned bright red. I didn't see any signs. Janet, who had been standing quietly, pointed at the massive white letters painted right under the Hummer and the bright red sign 2 feet away. "Those signs," she said dryly. "Donna." Yes, I finally learned her name when she started yelling it into her phone later, went from angry to fake sweet in a heartbeat. "Sweetie," she purred to Big Mark. "Can't you just let me move it? I'll be out of here in 2 seconds, promise." Big Mark didn't even look up. "Ma'am, once the tow process is started, I'm required by law to finish it. You'll have to pick up your vehicle from impound." That's when her mask cracked. "How much is that going to cost?" $275 towing fee, $45 a day for storage plus administrative fees," he replied matter-of-factly. Donna gasped, like she'd been told her credit card was declined. "This is outrageous. I spend thousands at this shopping center." Janet shrugged. "Then you should know the rules better than anyone." Donna's panic morphed into defiance. She pulled out her phone and, I kid you not, called 911. "Yes, someone's stealing my car from the parking lot," she yelled. I could hear the dispatcher's calm voice through the speaker, and Donna's expression changed as she realized she had to explain it was a tow truck. Within seconds, her face fell. It's being towed," she muttered. "They said it's legal." Her eyes darted around. "Useless," she hissed and hung up. Then came the tears. The kind that aren't sad, just manipulative. "Please," she said, turning to me. "I'm a single mother. I can't afford this. Just tell them to stop." I looked at her expensive manicure, her designer bag, her venti caramel macchiato, and said quietly, "You had plenty of chances to move your car." There were 2 announcements. "I just want to go home." From the bench, Frank called out, "Lady, you parked like a jerk. Deal with it." A few other shoppers laughed, phones already recording. Donna's tears dried up instantly. Her voice rose to a scream. "You'll regret this. I know people. I'll have your license revoked." Big Mark just kept working, tightening the chains with a mechanical whir. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "I'm licensed, insured, and authorized. Threats don't change that. The Hummer's back wheels lifted off the ground. Donna started shouting, pacing, flailing her arms, yelling something about discrimination. The whole scene was chaos horns, honking people watching a couple of teenagers chanting Karen's getting towed. It was like a live-action internet meme unfolding in front of us. And then it was over. Big Mark climbed into his truck, handed her a paper slip with the impound address. You can pick it up at 4200 Industrial Drive. Bring your license, registration, and payment. Cash or card. He revved the engine. The truck pulled forward, and the Hummer rose into the air, vanity plate queen, swinging like a badge of shame. Donna stood there screaming into the void, surrounded by her dropped shopping bags. I thanked Janet, thanked Frank, and finally backed out of my parking spot smoothly, freely, like it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever done. I drove home in silence, the kind that follows chaos. That night Emily still made fajitas. We laughed when I showed her the photos and videos, and she said, "You did the right thing. Some people need to learn the hard way." I didn't realize then how viral it would get. 3 days later, that video had over 8 million views. The comments were ruthless and hilarious. That vanity plate aged like milk. Big Mark is a legend, queen of the fire lane. Even the shopping center's Google reviews were flooded with praise for Janet and Big Mark's towing. Donna, of course, tried to spin it. She posted a rant online calling them all discriminatory thieves. But the internet doesn't forget. People flooded her post with screenshots of my video laughing emojis, and eventually she deleted her account. I heard she had to pay over $300 to get her car back the next morning, probably still wearing those ridiculous platform wedges. Weeks later I ran into Big Mark again at the same plaza. He grinned when he saw me. "Hey, fire lane guy, that video made my week." I laughed. "Guess you're famous now." He chuckled. "Nah, I just do my job. You're the one who kept your cool. Most people would have lost it." And maybe he was right. I'd been angry, frustrated, tempted to give up, but staying calm, collecting proof, doing things the right way. That's what made it satisfying in the end. Sometimes justice doesn't come with sirens or shouting. Sometimes it comes on a flatbed truck in broad daylight while the world watches a lesson in humility unfold. And if there's one thing I learned that day, it's this: the rules apply to everyone, even to those who think they're above them.